So, all the grades are in the grade book now, so make sure if you want to know your updated grade, check Skyward, and I'll put in that quiz as soon as everyone finishes, and then it'll be updated, and I'll print those out in the coming days. Today we are talking about composite figures, and you know what composite is, because we've used this word before. What does composite mean? More than one, right? More than one figure. As you can see on your notes, don't we have more than one 3D figure, okay, on top of each other here? And what we're trying to do is figure out the surface area of the figures. Now this is a little bit more complicated than just adding two surface areas, a little bit, because technically not every surface is showing, right? On example 1, there's actually two of these for quote-unquote example 1. That's when you have a prism on top of a prism. Or it could be a cylinder or cylinder on top of a prism. Okay, so these two examples, you have one shape on top of another. And off to the right, I gave you the way you figure out the total surface area when you have them stuck on top of each other. What you do is you find the total surface area of the bottom plus the lateral surface area of the top. Okay, that's the short and sweet on the notes for finding surface area of two composite figures that are on top of each other. But let me show you why that's true, okay? Let's talk about the bottom. Okay, so look at this first example on the left. I have two prisms, right? Now, the bottom prism, okay, right here, would you agree, almost all of it is exposed, except for where they meet. So like there's this like rectangle that is like subtracted from it, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to borrow the American way. We're going to borrow a rectangle that is way up here. Oops, hold on. Does everyone see there's a rectangle up top that I'm going to eventually do this correctly? There you go. Does everyone see that rectangle up here? Yeah. I want you to imagine that you take that rectangle and you place it down there. Okay? If I could actually replace that rectangle, then I would have the total surface area of the bottom prism. TSA of the bottom. Okay? Now, if I remove the top rectangle, that top face from the top prism, the only thing I'm left with is the sides. What do you call the surface area that's only on the sides? Lateral surface area. So that means the top would be lateral surface area. And that's literally what I was talking about over here. Okay? Total of the bottom and the lateral of the top. I find those two surface areas, and then all I got to do is add them up. Okay? So that's kind of the idea. So can you find those two surface areas? And can you add them up? That's my hope. Okay? So let's remember from our formula chart, what is the formula for lateral surface area of a prism? Okay? pH. Okay, so I'm going to write, I'm going to do this color-coded here. We'll start with the top one, okay, for the lateral surface area. Okay, so I'm going to put the top. Lateral surface area equals pH. Okay, now off to the side, let's figure out the P and the H of the laterals of that prism. I'm trying to find P up here. Now, on this top rectangle, I know 6, but what's the length of that rectangle? Okay, so I'm looking for this right here, which is parallel and equal to this, which is parallel and equal to this, which is parallel and equal to this. So if this is 9, then this also is 9. Okay, so I got 6, 9, 6, 9. What do I do with all 4 of those sides? Add them up. Okay, that's what perimeter means. 6 plus 9 plus 6 plus 9 equals what? 30. All right? Are you? All right. So 30. H is what? Okay. We got it right there. So 6. So for the lateral surface area, we're just going to do 30 times 6. And we get 180 millimeters squared, right? Any questions on how to find the lateral surface area at the top? Okay, so make a little squiggly. Let's do total surface area of the bottom. So bottom, TSA. Now what's the TSA? What's the total surface area formula for a prism? PH plus 2B. I want you to be careful. P and H and big B are not the same always between the two prisms. So let's see about the P, okay, over here. So what's the perimeter of the bottom rectangle? So on the bottom rectangle, the bottom base, what are my dimensions? 15, 9, and then behind would be another 15 and another 9. What's 15 plus 9 plus 15 plus 9? 48. Okay. What is the height of the bottom prism? Okay, it's right over here. So 5. And then big B, area of the base, of the bottom base. The dimensions of the bottom base are 15 and 9. So 15 times 9, because it's a rectangle, gives me what? Please make sure you're writing this down. 135. PH plus 2B. Let's fill in. The P was 48 times the H was 5 plus 2 times B, which we just got was 135. Okay, so 48 times 5 plus 2 times 135 gave me 510. Millimeters squared. Now, we did all this work. We found the top's lateral. We found the bottom's total. Now, you have to not forget your last step. What do I do with those two numbers? Just add them up. Okay. Now, you can call it a total. Okay, or you can call it the C word that we started this page with, composite. Okay. So total, or CSA. Does everyone understand? C is composite. Okay. So the composite surface area is 135 plus 510. Oh, sorry. My bad. I was looking right here. But it's supposed to be right here. 180 plus 510. Thank you. Gives us what? $690 what? Millimeters squared. Cubed is if it's a 3. If there's a third power, that's for volume, which we'll get to. All right, so do you get the idea? So when you get to the assignment, and I give you very similar stuff, you'll understand lateral at the top, total at the bottom, add them up. Let's do another one. This one's a little different. The main difference is that we're talking about a cylinder on top, but it's the same idea. We're going to do the lateral surface area at the top, and we're going to be doing the total surface area of the bottom, and then we're going to add them up, right? So let's start with the lateral surface area at the top. How do you find the lateral surface area of a cylinder. Two pi RH. Now, we can figure out R and H. R is half of this diameter. What's from here to here? 3. Half of 6, half of the diameter, 3 is the radius. So, H is what? 8. So let's multiply 2 times pi times 3 times 8. I did that here, and I got 150.8. What are my units? Feet squared, square feet. Okay, now we're going to do the bottom. The total surface area. And just like over here, for total surface area, we're doing pH plus 2 big B. So I need to find the perimeter of the bottom base. So if I have 10, 4, 10, 4, perimeter is adding up all those numbers, and I get what? 28. The height of the bottom prism up and down here is 7. And then big B, area of the base, I take the 10 and the 4 and I do what? 10 times 4, which is 40. So P is 28, H is 7, big B is 40. All we gotta do is plug it in. So 28 times 7 plus 2 times 40. I have that here, and I got 276 for my TSA. I know this is a lot to fit on there. So for the total, my composite surface area, CSA, 150.8 plus 276 is what? 426.8 feet squared. This one was also feet squared. All right. So there's a lot to do there, but it's lateral on the top, total on the bottom, add them up. Okay. I'll leave that up there for a minute, and then we're going to do example 3, so you can see after 3. Yeah, sorry, it is example 2. So, scrolling down. Now, on example 2, this is a different example, not just because one's a pyramid, because of what they're asking us to do. So let's read it. Everyone looking up here? Eh? It says, the structure below will be Kathy's new doll home. The outside of the house is going to be painted. Okay, everyone, make sure you see that key word. This is the painted problem. Painted. Okay, now imagine you were going to paint a dollhouse. Okay, that's what you're imagining. So if you were painting a dollhouse, would you paint the bottom? Okay, typically no. Now, could you? Sure. But I'm telling you, we are not going to paint the bottom. Okay? Do not paint. Paint attention. Yeah, that was a good one. All right. So, do not paint the bottom. So, kind of like, get that out of here. So, if I don't have a bottom to paint, what surface area am I using here and here? Okay. So, the top has no bottom showing, so that's lateral. And since I am not painting the bottom down here, this one's also lateral. Does everyone see the difference between example 1's and example 2? The spelling out of it is right here, lateral plus lateral. The paint problem is only painting the sides. It's only lateral surface area, okay? So we can probably knock this out fairly quickly. So for the pyramid on top, LSA, how do you find the lateral surface area of a pyramid? On our formula charts. PL over 2. Now let's find the perimeter of the base. The pyramid's base matches the prism's base of 8, 8, 8, 8. So when I add up those 8s, what do I get for the perimeter? 32. Okay. What is the L slant height of that pyramid? 10. So all I got to do is 32 times 10 divided by 2. And that gives me 160 centimeters squared. Let's do the prism on the bottom. Again, we're doing LSA. So on our formula chart, the lateral surface area of a prism is PH. This time, the bases match, so the P is the same. But what's the height? So the P is still 32. The height is what this time? 14. So you just got to do 32 times 14. What do we get? 448 what? Centimeters squared. And then, now that we have each lateral surface area, we can add them up, right? So for the total, for the composite surface area, I'm going to do 160 plus 448, and I'm going to get what? 608 centimeters squared. Okay? So that does it for the notes. I showed you 3 examples. If you tear off the notes page, you have the assignment. I want you to notice the assignment and the notes are pretty similar. Okay? Now, I want you to flip everything over and look at the very back. Now, this stuff looks kind of crazy. Look at the very first word at the top left. It says pre-AP extension. So, if you're in a pre-AP class, then you would do 4 through 9. If you're not, then you don't have to do the back page. If you do, I'm not telling you I'm going to grade it, because that's for pre-AP, okay? If you do like to challenge yourself, have fun, okay? But I do want you to do 1, 2, and 3 for sure if you're in regulars, and then the whole thing if you're in pre-AP.